Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Karin Pereira. I work as a nurse in Tasmania,
What was your first job?
and my first job was as a carer, in a nursing home. And um,
What did you like and dislike about this job?
I liked the job, the carer job, very much, but was very challenged when you think about how much strain it puts in your body. So you use a lot of bending, pulling and pushing. So it's a bit tricky. It was a bit tricky.
What was the biggest challenge and how did you deal with it?
As a nurse, it's a little bit different. It's challenged in a way, psychological speaking, because you deal with a lot of um, carers, like you're responsible for them, you supervise them, so you need to make sure they're doing the right thing. So you do your job plus a supervisor job, so it takes a lot of your mental stress, I guess.
How did you apply?
To find the job as a carer wasn't hard. Once you finish TAFE, during your placement, pretty much if you do well at your placement, you'll be able to get a job straight away at the same place. As a nurse was a little bit harder because I didn't have much experience, or I didn't have any experience as a nurse. So my first job as a nurse, I only got it because my boss knew me as a carer, and she pretty much offered the job. So I didn't need to go through an interview or anything like that. So it was a little bit different for me in that way.
What did you learn at this job that you took to your next job?
Well, what I learned, being while I was a carer, was extremely important to my next job, which was a nurse, since I work in a nursing home. So it was very useful to know what carers go through or what the job involves, because you look at them in a different perspective. And being a supervisor, you need to be able to do that job. So being a carer first was extremely useful. People took me more seriously, even though I was new and I was from Brazil and I didn't have much experience as a nurse. So that was extremely relevant.
What did you learn about yourself doing this job?
What I learned about myself, I guess I learned that I'm stronger than I thought I was. You deal with death constantly, every day. If sometimes actual death, and sometimes just through the journey, um, during palliative care. So it's, I don't know. I just learned how to deal with that, and being away from my family is kind of helped me in a way, because I can't be with them, but I know they're there. So I guess when I lose a patient, I can't be with them, but I know they're there. That always goes to do with my beliefs.
What did you do after this job?
Well, I was still at the job. I just changed companies recently, and I'm doing a little bit of community nurse, which is a little bit different from aged care nurse. Um,
What tip would you give to the job seekers from areas or other background eager to get their first job in Tasmania?
Right. I would say that even though you're not Australian and English is a second language, you do have a lot of opportunities. However, know the people around helps a lot. That's how I got all my jobs pretty much, because you need to have a very good circle of friends and that know you, that could be a reference, it could be a referee. That's extremely important in Tasmania. Know the right people. That's really, really is. Can't say enough. And also, your English. Really, you come to Tasmania, you come to Australia in first place, and you do not know English. It's fine, but you need to learn. You need to do your best and do your, work really hard on that, because unfortunately you can only prove that you're good enough or even better than some people that English are their first language is by showing that. So if you don't have that first, if you can't express yourself, it's really hard to prove that you're good on your skills, you know what I mean? Because you can be a great nurse, but if you don't do well in an interview, you're not going to get there. So I would say, really, study English, study really hard. You're never going to be 10 out of 10. Yes, we know that. But do your best, and get to know people within your area. It's important. LinkedIn as well, have contacts there. It's useful, very useful, I would say. And knock on the doors, really. Go and ask and tell your story and make sure they know you and put your heart into it. I think if you do that, you won't have trouble finding a job, at least in health area sector. It's a little bit easier in that way because you can show that you care and how much you love it. Make sure you do some sort of volunteer work. Even if you are working within the company, offer yourself to do volunteer hours, whatever, organizing something, spending some time with them, like my case in aged care. They really appreciate it. And of course, what I believe you should do, volunteer anyway, but just Australians see that with a different eyes. So make sure you do it. A bit of volunteer, a few hours is gonna get you a long way, I'm sure. I can tell from my own experience. So it did help me a lot. So yeah, English, put your heart into it, and you'll be fine.
Thank you.